The topic discussion is session state under module number 5. So before going to this session state, we need to understand two kinds of cookies. The first thing is session state and another one is persistent state. So when we're talking about this session state, it is a state which has no expiry state, and it must be deleted at the end of the user browsing session. And when we're talking about the persistent state, it has an expiry date specified. But if you want to create cookies in PHP, you have to use set cookie, and if you want to retrieve the information, you have to use $cookie, as same as like a super global arrays associated with it. Before starting any other page, all the cookies will be have in that session. And then when we're talking about this session, it is a way to store information to be used across multiple pages. Unlike cookie, the information is not stored on the client side. And if you, for example, if you want to open an application, you have to start, and if you have to process it, and you want to close it. That things will be happen. And the computer knows who you are and what process you are doing and when you are going to end up the session. But yeah, at that side, internet side, problem with the web server. It doesn't who you are and what you are going to do and what process you are doing when you are going to end the session. So that because it can't hold the information on the client, and it doesn't maintain the state actually. So by using the session state, it overcome those problems by using variables to be used across multiple pages. For example, we can say username or color made, etc. And this session state, it holds information of one single user, and it can be viewed across multiple pages. So this is the thing we are going to see. So all modern web development environments provide some type of session state mechanism. So this is a server-based state mechanism that lets web applications store and retrieve objects type for each unique user session. So it is same for storing more complex objects or data structures that are associated with a user session. If you want to start the session state, then you can use $session variable to retrieve the global information associated with it and how it works actually. So each and every session will start by session actually will set a user key on user computer, like mixing of the numbers and numbers alphanumeric characters. Like it's a 32-bit session ID. At latest key, it is actually a 128 byte session. This ID we are using nowadays. And actually the computer scans the whole. If it matches with that key, particular key, then your session will get started. If it is not matches, then the new session will get started. So in sessions in PHP are identified with unique 32 byte session ID. Now it is 128, and this is transmitted back and forth between the user and server through the session cookie. And if you want to open a e-commerce site called shopping cart, you can see all the things, and you can pay if you want, you can get paid, and all the information will get saved there. And PHP assigns an initially empty dictionary style collection that can be used to hold any state values for the session. When the request processing is finished, the session state is saved to some type of state storage mechanism called session state provider. When a new request is received for an existing session, the collection of information which is placed in filled with the previously saved session data from the session state provider. So the decision to save the sessions to file rather than in memory, as like ASP.NET, addresses the issue of usage that can occur on a shared host as well as persistent between restart. Inexpensive web hosts may sometimes stuff hundreds or even thousands of sites on each machine. So server memory may be storing not only the session information but pages being executed and caching information. So it includes where the session files are saved. So it is possible to configure those kind of session, which is including what are the session files will get saved. So this is how session storage works. We can use any open source processes, and for each and every session, there is a server memory storage. And this is for high volume computerization, and we can also call it as a web form. And so when web surfing will be there, then this concept we can use, and this higher volume web application often run in an environment in multiple servers or servicing request. In such a situation, the in-process session state will not work, since one server may service one request for a particular session, and then completely different server may service the next request for the next session. And how to see the problem exactly? But if, for example, user X is there and he is sending request to the load balancer, and then it will be moving to the web server. Surfing will take place. Then you can view the problems as like consciously. And session storage, two categories of solution to this problem. One is load balancer, and another one is the shared location to store the session, either in a database and the memory cache or some other shared state mechanism. So in this session state, all the information is only in a temporary way only. If you want to store the sessions in a permanent way, so you can go to MySQL database, then your information will be stored permanently. So the first thing we need to understand in session storage, we have two categories of solutions. The first thing is load balancer to be session aware, and it can request using session to the same server, and we can use shared location to store the session also by using any database, so that your information will get saved permanently. So